Bitch, let me tell you something. But hey, what's up? It's your girl Deja Diva, and you are tuned in live to the hashtag Diva Gang podcast, where we discuss art, music, entertainment, pop culture, and have cultivating controversial conversations. Yes, let's get into it. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back at it. It's been 5 months since the last Diva Gang podcast episode, and this is still going to be considered season 1. I want to close this season out with a banger. I don't know when the end of the season will be, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I figure that shit out. You guys, there's been so much going on, and I know that I'm late on a lot of stuff that I'm going to be talking about in the next few episodes, but you know what? My opinion ain't late. Even though I'm late, my opinion ain't late. It might be old news to you, but it's new news to me. Shout out to my new show, Old to You, New to Me. Check out that first episode on my YouTube channel. You guys, there's been a lot of music happening. A lot of stuff is rolling out. A lot of music is happening. First off, I want to discuss the most important thing, one of the most important things to me that has happened. Lizzo has dropped her sophomore album. And y'all, a lot of y'all know how I feel about sophomore albums. A lot of y'all know that I tell all artists, or make it clear to a lot of artists, that a sophomore album is the most important album that you could drop. Why? Because that shows if you can keep up with the momentum of your first album. That shows if you are here to stay or you're here to sway. And that is very important, because I believe that if you are an artist and your sophomore album is better than your first album, then that means that you are here to stay. I think that it's very important to note that. And I also know that when you think of your favorite artists like Chris Brown, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, anybody, their sophomore albums were legitimately the albums that sealed the deal and kept them going forward. And that's what I feel like Lizzo did with this album. I'm going to talk about all of the stuff that I love. About this album. First of all, the intro was very much getting us ready for what we're about to experience, getting us ready to get into the Gigianas. The second, shout out to Zachary Campbell. The second song, About Damn Time. You know what? I have a friend that did not live for that song the first time. It is a very simple melody. It is a very simple type of song. But the thing about the song, and she's smart, the song was going to do numbers because it is so easy for everybody to listen to, so easy for everybody to digest, and it's a really, really easy, fun-loving song. And I think that sometimes a lot of artists should bring it back to basics, because just because it is simple does not mean that it is boring. Those are two different things. Single Ladies, very simple song and concept. Rock With You by Michael Jackson, very simple. Sometimes keeping it sweet and simple, kissing shit, the kiss, keeping it simple and sweet, keeping it short and simple, sometimes it does work. And that type of method can only be done by a person who truly feels the music. I feel like a group that does that for me, that really just gives me familiarity, gives me a little bit of razzle dazzle, a little bit of personality on top of that, just a little bit of old school, but it's just very simple music, simple, down to earth music is Silk Sonic. Silk Sonic does that perfectly. Bruno Mars does that perfectly. He'll come out with a banger, over the top banger like Finesse or Chunky or 24 Karat, but then he'll keep something simple like That's What I Like. That song is very simple, and that's why the song did so many numbers. Next song is Girls. I love that song. It's just very much shaking ass, very much dancing worthy type of song. I like a CEO, feeling like a CEO. I really, really, really live for that track, because I don't know, and it's also a little remnants of the first album, that feel good music, like a girl, like soulmate. It just gives me that type of feel. Number 4 was To Be Loved. Am I Ready? I like that song. I'm gonna be honest. Between that and Birthday Girl, those are the 2 songs I've listened to the least. But I've listened to this album like 3 or 4 times, and I really, I think that song, belonged on the album. I just feel like, here's the thing, and I'm gonna wait until the end of my recap to talk about that. I Love You, Bitch. Because we're gonna talk about that song at the end. I Love You, Bitch. I love that song because of course, I'm from H-Town. She from H-Town. Hold it. Y'all hear that shit? What the fuck could be going on at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? I am filming this late. I just got from the club, y'all. But the 5th song, I Love You, Bitch. I absolutely love the ode to Zero, the H-Town. I hate you, bitch. I never thought I'd say. Like, it was basically like an opposite, like a response, but for herself. Now, my favorite song on the entire album, Special. Let's have a moment of silence because she killed every nigga in the club. That song is so beautiful. When I literally heard that song the first time, I was in tears because can somebody told you today you're special? In case nobody make you believe you're special, you need to be here. The lyrics were just so beautiful because I think this album was definitely a healing body of work after such a traumatic ass time in this world. And that song just reminded me that you're worthy of the things that you want. You're worthy of this life. You're worthy of good things and happiness. That song was just such a beautiful song. Yeah, Break Up Twice. Break Up Twice, that's a boundary song. Some of y'all need to take some notes and learn something. Learn you something. Because Break Up Twice, she said, let me tell you something. You better get the shit together because I don't break up twice. By the time when you broke up with, you broke up with. And that is very much the energy that we need to be going into for this second half of 2022, because let me tell you something about Lizzo. Lizzo is going to put some meaningful lyrics in a song. And the problem that a lot of people have, and I know this is on a tangent, I'm going to come back to it because we got a couple more tracks to talk about. The problem that I have with a lot of black folks, black women, black whatever, on the internet is that they're consistently saying, she is consistently writing love letters to black folks, consistently writing love letters to black women. And I just don't understand, why is it hard for us to accept somebody writing something positive? Her lyrics have always been a love letter to black folk, to fat folk, to whatever marginalized group. But she's always centered black women, always centered plus size black women, always centered us. And the problem that I have is that we are so used to being discarded, to being denigrated, that we don't know what love look like and we can't appreciate it. Because the consistent conversations of her music being for white people is bogus. When somebody loving on you, telling you that you're special, that you need to be here, telling you that you're worthy, telling you I love you, you are beautiful no matter who you are, what you look like. The fact that y'all think that kind of language is exclusive to a white ear is a problem for me. She does not make white music. We just don't know how to appreciate shit, black folk, until it's gone. We don't know how to appreciate shit. And I also don't think that we know what love look like, because all the music that bangs in the black community, I love it. I love a little drill gangster moment, because we can talk about that type of music all the time. But you know what? Sometimes you need a break from all of that negativity that you're consuming in your ears, and you need to put some love in your ears. And that's what Lizzo delivers, is a loving word to the ear, and I don't think that a lot of black people are able to digest it because of a lot of the trauma that we've been through. And I also don't think we're able to digest it because I think that we like the taste of poison as opposed to the taste of medicine. Music can be medicine or poison, and I don't think necessarily that the drill music, the rap music, the gangster music is poison. I'm just saying that a lot of black folks needs to be able to diversify their palate and be able to put some positivity in their ear, because believe it or not, only consuming too much of one thing is always a bad thing. But let's move on. That's all I had to say. Number 8, Everybody's Gay. First of all, the beat, that guitar, that electric guitar, the bass in that song is fire. Second of all, I just know if Prince was still alive, this would be the song that he hopped on. And it just gave me very much Prince, very much. The whole album is giving me 80s. The entire album sounds like something out the 80s. And I kind of like that because, and I'm going to talk about that later, but I feel like music is really taking a step back, even with Break My Soul and all these other songs. A lot of music is taking a step back and bringing up the remnants of the 80s and the 90s because we haven't been able to curate a new sound or do it successfully. I've been drinking Casamigos all night. I really, really love that the vibe of that song. That song really bangs in the car. I think that for that song, she really took her time to do some sort of unique instrumentation, because we're not used to hearing the rock moment from Lizzo, but I feel like she took the intro of tempo and kind of said, what if I made that into like an entire vibe? And I really love that. Naked sounds, my friend told me this, shout out to Preston. Naked is a continuation of Lingerie because I feel like those have a similar vibe. I feel like Lingerie is about, I put on my lingerie. That song is like sexy, sultry, seductive. But I also feel like for her, a lot of her songs, even the love songs she has, is a lot of times it's not geared towards a second party, it's geared towards herself. And Lingerie is an ode to not only her man, but it's an ode to herself. And I feel like Naked is an ode to herself. Like, at first I needed the lingerie, but not anymore to get into my body. Every song on here, just if you just stripped the music from it and made it poetry, it would still sell. Because the things that she talks about are things that we don't generally hear in music. And I think that a lot of women, men, queer folk, trans folk need to listen to this type of music so that they can this kind of feel is like something that assists you with trying to connect to yourself and connect to the ground. Birthday Girl, I told y'all already, I don't listen to that song a lot. The song is fun. I believe I believe Girls is like more of a fun, more succinct sound. But I don't not like not one song on the album. However, between that and To Be Loved, I have to give those secondary listens. I'm not going to say that they're underwhelming or they're boring or they're bad. I'm not going to say those words because that's not how I feel. I just need to give those secondary listens. If You Love Me, I like that song a lot. It just, I don't know. I would keep saying it. Her lyrics resonate so hard because she's not talking about the typical. I really dig her writing. And I just feel like the writing on every single song is fire. And of course, Coldplay, which is the last song. And Coldplay is a very easy, laid-back vibe. That song kind of reminds me of some Sade, just something that you could put in a loop over and over and over again. I love the instrumentation of Coldplay. It's very simple. It's very much Kiss Me More type vibe. I feel like that might be the next pop hit off of this album. Between that, Everybody's Gay, I think that might be the next easygoing, I'm in Ulta and music is playing song. Now let's talk about the entire album. Even though I love every single song individually for their own reasons, I feel as if, and this is just no tea, no shade, I feel like the sequencing could have been a little bit more succinct. I feel like The Sign could have went first. About Damn Time going right after, like the big hits going right after the first song is kind of like a typical move. I just feel like I would appreciate To Be Loved and Birthday Girl if they were not in those numerical chronological positions. I would prefer the songs that are a little bit slower to be pushed towards the middle. I don't know. I just feel like we need to play a game of washing the dominoes, washing the dishes on this album, so that in the ear, it's an easier flow. But overall, this album was a slapping project. You guys, I love Lizzo. Lizzo, if you watch this, if you're listening to this, I love you. I truly do. Shout out to Crystal. That's one of my homegirls. She is one of the big girls. I really, truly love I love your music, Lizzo. I love who you are. I love what you stand for. I love what you do. And you are truly, honestly giving me light at the end of the tunnel in this game, because it is so tough. It is just so hard being in this industry and not being the joke. I feel like the only time dark-skinned fat women succeed is, I just feel like you're making a new lane for us to be sexy, to us to be taken serious. I feel like you are softening the foundation of what I'm going to have to step into by the time I am where you are. And I only hope to have half the impact that you had, because I truly believe that you are a godsend. And it was a blessing and an honor to be able to listen to your music and talk about it on my platform. Let's go ahead and move on. I know it's old news, bitches, but I definitely want to talk about that damn Verzuz. And let me make it very clear. You guys give entirely too much stock to people in the industry. I love Mario. I love Omarion. I love Ray J. I love Bobby V. I love Pleasure P. I love Sammy. I love Jeremiah. I love Tank. But let me tell you something. R&B is not sitting in the hands of all of those people. I love them down. But they don't have the power to kill R&B. R&B has been on a slow fall for a minute now. R&B has been on a slow fall for at least the past 7 to 8 years. R&B has not been great ever since niggas started singing about being toxic and popping pills. R&B has not been great ever since bitches stopped going to church and working on them damn voices and having any range. R&B has been on a slow fall, and if R&B is dead, they ain't the ones who killed them. Let me tell you something. This is a game of Clue, and they ain't the murderers. R&B been on life support. They didn't need it. They couldn't do nothing to help it. They couldn't do nothing to hurt it. Let's talk. Let's talk about the pre-verses. A lot of y'all, let me tell y'all something. Let me. Bitch, let me tell you something. Because I'm in my bag today. I'm back, bitches. You niggas do not know how to enjoy shit. Everybody on Instagram, Twitter, taking everything entirely too seriously. The Verzuz was created for Black people to enjoy it and to be able to celebrate forgotten, old school, seasoned treasures in our community. It was made for us to be able to bring some of our old school people back and celebrate them and give them their flowers. It was not made to be some professional production that needs to exceed all expectations and be Oscar nomination worthy. That's not what the fuck it is. It is meant to be a ratchet ass shindig with a whole bunch of Black people just enjoying our space and not caring about how we look, how we feel, just being in the moment and enjoying our people. Of course, Verzuz found a way to finance it, make some money, give people opportunities, give people jobs. They found ways to have people enjoy it live and make it look a little pretty. They add a little seasoning on it, but that's all it is. These are not supposed to be professional productions. These are supposed to be casual productions and let people enjoy things. People was like, well, it's been long. This Verzuz is long. This is long. This is long. This is long. Oh, how long? What they gonna do next? Oh, this unprofessional. All I saw when the day of the Verzuz was people complaining. And I'm like, as soon as they do it real crisp and clean, and now, all the white people want to be on the bandwagon, now you're going to be like, well, we can't keep nothing. It's no pleasing you people. It's not supposed to be some sort of formal event. It's casual. And yeah, black people, we got the tendency to get ratchet, and there's nothing wrong with that. We are being ratchet at the house. And that's what the Verzuz is. I really do not understand why everybody was just so mad. If you don't want to watch a pre-Verzuz, don't watch the pre-Verzuz. I thought the pre-Verzuz was a grand idea, because I feel like there are people who do not have the 20-song catalog that do deserve their flowers. I would love to see Anne-Marie and Tweet and Christina Milian and Tiffany Evans and all of the little people do a verse. I want to see everybody that I feel like had an impact on music to do a Verzuz. It don't matter if you had 20 hits or 2 hits. I think that everybody deserves their flowers. And truth be told, I really, really feel like a lot of y'all just have some inherent anti-blackness. Do y'all not remember Teddy Riley and all of the, like, it's supposed to be a little bit of a ghetto event, and it's nothing wrong. And I just feel like, take the stick out your ass and enjoy the shit. Now let's talk about Ray J. Ray J. I don't think that he cannot sing. I do believe that he did not have the strongest of voice to begin with, like just in general, like back in the day. However, I think that he has a little bit of something. He can hold a tune. The problem with Ray J is that he has led a lifestyle that was not conducive to him having a good, strong vocal. Smoking, and I'm trying to, like, I go to the club and I'm not a super hookah head, but smoking hookah, cigarettes, weed, all of that, eating bullshit, drinking a lot, those things really, really have an effect on your voice. And I feel like Ray J has been a victim of that, because I really believe that Ray J did not have a good night. But I do appreciate people, because Ray J don't just have one hit. Let's not forget, Ray J has I Hit It First. It ain't that many hits, but he has Sexy Can I, One Wish, I Hit It First. He got that song with Lil Kim. He has all types of different songs that people used to like. I mean, you might not know anything but a couple of them, but he's had a couple of different songs, and people really do enjoy Ray J. Let's talk about Bobby Valentino. I think Bobby Valentino sounded okay. I didn't even know that he was in a group before he was solo. And he did songs from that group. I forget what, Mr. That's the name of the group. He did a song from that group. He had Slow Down. I Just Wanna Get to Know Ya. He had I gotta know your name. Let me be. He had all types of songs. And also Bobby V, his pen is crazy. Of course, he had Mrs. Officer, his features. Bobby V really stood on his own. I don't think his vocals were that great. I think he did good with Blackberry Molasses, but I think after a while, he started to get a little tired. Now, Pleasure P. First of all, Pleasure P, you still look good. You still look good, baby. You still look good. I had no business singing your music when I was a kid. First of all, he said, I am Pretty Ricky. And you know what? That's motherfucking right, because he was writing a lot. I did you wrong. You did me wrong. Boyfriend number 2. Pleasure P. Pleasure P. You sounded good. You look good. I'm pretty sure you smell good. God has been good to you. And I love you. Sammy. Now let's talk about Sammy. Sammy was talking all the shit. And Sammy sang One Wish way better than Ray J did. But I really like Sammy. People need to put some respect on Sammy because Sammy really made a lane for a lot of people to be able to be that age and, you know, do R&B like that solo. Sammy, first of all, Sammy, you look you look good too. But it's the beard for me. Sorry. I lost my shit. But Sammy, you did such a great job. You sounded really, really good. And I don't think a lot of people was talking about how good Sammy sounded at the Verzuz. His voice was so clear. He had he sounded like his voice sounded so good. I really, really appreciated him being there. The pre-Verzuz was really, really necessary to me and I really enjoyed it. Now let's get to the main Verzuz. And let me tell you something. When I was a child, Omarion was in my top 5. This is going to be my future baby daddy. And Omarion, one thing about the Verzuz that it taught me is that some of these people back in the day, and I'm learning this, were not maybe the most skilled of vocalists, and they got a lot of help because they had the look of being a star. And I'm happy that the industry is kind of transitioning out of that. But I think Omarion, his voice started to get better throughout the night. But of course, we all know his voice wasn't voicing. And I was very disappointed. And I feel like he did a few things, and I'm not going to call them antics, but he pulled a few stunts to try to sway the audience. Like when he did the "you got served" moment, when he did the water. It sucks because his brother is fine too. And what you doing jumping jacks with your dick out? Why was that necessary? Are you trying to build a name for yourself or like a lane for yourself? Because it just wasn't, the dick was cool. It was cute. It was pretty. It was average. But I mean, why were you doing that? We already talked about it in that episode that was 5 months ago. Come on, bruh. Promote what you got to promote and keep it pushing. But the watermelon thing was cringy. When he was fucking the microphone, it was cringy. And I feel like there's a way to do that stuff, but you gotta already kind of have it. I think he would have benefited from backtracking and a little bit of, synthesization or something. He brought out Jeremiah. And this is the thing about Jeremiah. Giving out roses. It was so beautiful. I think Jeremiah needs to be in the Verzuz next. And I think Lloyd needed to be somewhere on here. But I am going to give Jeremiah the benefit of the doubt because he had been sick for a long time. He was battling COVID. He almost lost his life. And I'm not going to attack him for his voice because I think that he was not prepared to sing. He was just prepared to make an appearance. Tank came out. Tank barely even sang for me to be able to say anything about his performance. I'm just saying that Tank wasn't even able. He said, "This is not my Verzuz, this is y'all Verzuz." Omarion, you have a lot of hits, but I hated the people talking about they didn't even have a whole lot of hits. I thought you had to have hits to do a Verzuz. Omarion and Mario, they have hits according to Black people. And that same narrative wasn't spoken about when Keisha Cole and Ashanti did a Verzuz. Because Ashanti did have hits. Keisha Cole also had hits. I just feel like what is gonna be our barometer of what a hit is? Because I'm gonna be honest, if it was playing on the Quiet Storm, 93.7 the beat, 97.9 the box, 102.1. If it was on any of those, shout out to H-Town. If it was any of those stations and it was in syndication, if it was in the top 10 on 106 in Park, it was a hit. I don't give a damn what Billboard critically acclaimed. Fuck that. It's a hit here. Cause we ain't gonna sit here and act like we didn't buy the CD or our mama didn't have a CD and we was sneaking and listening to it. Let's not act like that. And I know it's been a long time, but it ain't been that damn long. Okay. A whole bunch of people, and then on top of that, if you are under the age of like 20 and that's pushing it, that is pushing it for me. Shut the fuck up. This ain't for you. You ain't gonna be able to experience Verzuz for maybe the next 7 years to a decade. This shit ain't for you. Cause you niggas grew up on Young Thug and Gunna and shit like, nah, this ain't for you. You grew up on dirt. This ain't for you. This is not for you. This is for people who are who were born in the 90s. That's as young as you could be. Cause I'm born in 97 and I feel like I'd be a little too young sometimes, but I have a great taste in music. Like when they did Mary Mary versus BB and CC, I knew the songs. I know the songs. I knew the songs when Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind. I know the music. I know the music because I have good taste. So yeah, that's neither here or there. But these motherfuckers had hits. Oh, Touch, Icebox, Supposed to Be. Of course, he gonna do a little bit of B2K. Of course, he's gonna do B2K. Entourage, which was my shit. Screw In. I like that song. I like oh yeah, Girlfriend. Oh, Entourage. She already said those things. I'm repeating stuff. You know what song I like by him that he just recently dropped? Triggered. I love that song. But he did a decent, Omarion, your voice just wasn't voicing, but you know that. You know what the tea is. You know what the tea is. I don't have to drive it into you, but let's just say, I mean, people were saying him being so fine is the reason why he's been able to get away with it for a long time. I guess that could be true, but I also, he had a bad day. Because I feel like on the Millennium Tour, he may have been lip syncing for a lot of the tour, but I also feel like it wasn't as bad. Mario. First of all, I don't care what he say about your body. Your body is perfect to me. You was talking a lot of shit. As you should. It's supposed to be a friendly little jab. Everybody was being violent that night. Sammy was being violent. Pleasure P was being violent. Everybody was being violent. But I'm here for it. I like a good little violent, little moment like, bitch, fuck y'all. Like, I like a little violent moment. But Mario, he said, stop. He said, y'all niggas is off key. Y'all, that shit sounds terrible. You know what, Mario? You are a petty little bastard. And I love it. I'm here for it. Let Me Love You. I can hear your heart crying out for me. Yes. How Do I Breathe? Just a Friend. Braid My Hair. Get Back. Why would you want to break up? Why would you want loving? Let me tell you a story. I used to hate that song when I was younger because, first of all, it was playing everywhere. I used to think that song was Gucci Mane featuring Mario. No T. I didn't even know that was a Mario song. But my cousin, shout out to Letitia and Leah. Y'all used to be obsessed with that song and y'all would not stop playing the shit. And y'all literally made me not like the song. I like it now that I'm an adult, but I felt like, I just felt like the beat was confusing and I felt like, I don't know, I used to hate the song. But I mean, it's grown on me now, but I also felt like when that song came out, everybody was playing it. And I was just like, God, it reminds me how I felt when Boo'd Up was out. It's just, y'all remember the songs they used to like, I gotta name y'all so many songs that just used to keep playing over and over and over and over and over again. You know what verses I want to see? This is random. Flo Rida versus Akon. I'm here for it. Yeah, come on. Let's talk about it. But yeah, I personally, even with the fuck ups, I enjoyed the verses. It was long, but I mean, when you watching the verses, what else? You got off of work, you ain't got shit else to do. You got to go to bed. But I mean, what's sleep? You know. If you want to watch it, you want to watch it. If you don't, then take your ass to bed. It'll be on YouTube in the morning. Next thing I want to talk about, and I really hate that I'm talking about this, but I want to talk about hot shit with Lil Durk Ye, Cardi B. I didn't go in that order on purpose. It's Cardi B's song featuring Lil Durk and Kanye West. Let me be very clear. And this is how I feel. And you gonna take this as you want. Female hip hop needs to stop thinking that it is necessary or essential to have male features or validations. It is a pit hole that I see a lot of female rappers fall into. Oh, I gotta have the hottest male on my track, on my album. Though it is cool, I really think that I have heard more songs. Let's just say this. Let me just put it here and I'm gonna keep it there. I have heard more songs be ruined by men from female rappers. Like, I've heard more songs be obliterated by female rappers with a male feature just to have the name on a song versus the amount of songs that I've heard that have been ruined by a female feature. Every time I hear a female feature on the hottest rapper song, the hottest female is on the hottest male song, they enhance the song to exponential heights. I believe that if it wasn't for Megan, the baby would not be nowhere near mainstream. He wouldn't be able to do a song with Dua Lipa if it wasn't for Megan. I feel like we are of more necessity to y'all than y'all are to us. And I want women to understand that. Oh, he's a big name. He's a big rapper. He's a big deal. No, bitch, you're the big deal. And it's a blessing for them to even step into your booth, let alone lay down some wax. Cardi B's verse is good. It's good. It's the song is, to me, is underwhelming. And I love Cardi B. Invasion of Privacy is a perfect album. I really, 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 really do love Cardi B. I just don't think that this is the comeback moment, because I don't even think she needed a comeback moment, because I feel like Up was the comeback moment. This song did not make me excited for the album, and the chorus is cool. The chorus, I actually appreciate the way the chorus is framed, like bars in the chorus, like it's a bar-worthy chorus. It's not super repetitive. The beat is nice. However, I just feel like you have all of the accoutrement for a smash hit, but it's just not smashing for me. I think the video, the looks were looking, but the CGI was not great to me. I know that, and let's just be honest, Lil Durk did okay. He did good. He did, decent. I think Durk is very talented. He did decent. I just feel like even if he did an amazing job on the song, I just don't feel like he was necessary. I think that, I don't think either one of the features was necessary. I think, and let me tell you something about Ye, and I feel this, and all of my Kanye West fans, give me y'all feedback in the comments. I don't feel like Ye has delivered a good features for the past 6 years. Ever since that part, I feel like his features, him being on somebody else's song, I feel like his verses have been exponentially bad. They've just been going downhill. I don't think his personal music has gotten bad, because I don't think Kanye West makes bad music, because it's Kanye fucking West. And of course, I already have my political and quarrels with this nigga because Kanye he be doing some shit that I just be like, okay. And I try not to talk about him a lot on any of my platforms because I just think that nigga, attention is his drug, and I don't want to feed into it. But I just really feel like Kanye West, I feel like you have a disconnect between you and female rappers. Because I love Kanye West. Don't get me wrong. I think he is one of the most talented people of all time. But I can't help but feel like you be having a vendetta against certain female rappers. I think your verse was I mean, but in comparison to who you are, I think the verse was not that good. And that's just my personal opinion. And I hope to work with a lot of these people one day. Anybody I'm going to discuss and have discussed and are currently discussing on my podcast. However, I feel like I ought to be able to have an opinion, and you ought to be able to see me as an artist and as a person. Let me tell you what I've never done, and I'm going to keep repeating this on my podcast every so often. I don't ever say nobody is garbage, trash, bad. I'll never say anybody is, untalented. I would never say that about a person. I can say that I don't think you can rap because I said that about a person before. I'll say that I don't really think that this is it. But I'll never take digs at unless you deserve to be drugged. But I'll never take digs at a person because I know how hard and how emotionally taxing it is to create a body of work and then put it out there. I'll just give my opinion, an opinion that actually could help. Like an opinion like, oh, this shit trash. What do I do with that? But if I say, oh, I don't like I didn't think that run was a good choice. I don't think that this verse was that strong. I don't think that the bars were barring. I think the flow was weird. That you got something to work with at that point. Because at that point, and also I don't review music of people who I don't love. I don't. I will never review somebody who I do not love. I love everybody I listed. You know what I'm saying? I even love the Baby and Tory Lanez, and I drugged the fuck out of them a couple episodes ago. I do. I truly, honestly fuck with their music, and too bad I haven't been able to listen to it because my spirit, But I just really will never ever come on here, even if I think it is garbage, because I love Coi Leray, and I don't think she can rap. I still don't think she can rap. Erica, that's another episode. I'm gonna put that on the side. I'm gonna pin it. But I think that I love Coi Leray because I think she has a bright spirit. I think she actually makes bangers, given that she cannot rap to me. I think I will never talk about people I don't love. So let's just cut that narrative. But I just feel like the song was underwhelming, and I also feel like the video was equally as underwhelming. Your looks were cute, but I hate it in female hip hop specifically, but I hate when a video quality is so dependent upon the fashion and the looks. I feel like sometimes you could put on a raggedy t-shirt and have an effective video. That's all I have to say about that song. I am still excited for the album. I don't think you need to drop any other singles unless it's a single that's a single for real, like a big hit. And I'm wondering if WAP, Up, and what other song did she drop recently? And one of those songs are going to be on the album. But let's move on to the next topic. I want to talk about... I'm going to save that for the end. I want to talk about Monique. Again, I feel like I talk about her a great deal on my platform because I believe in who she is and what she's doing. By the way, the only things that Cardi has dropped for this new era is like, of course, I don't know if it's new for the era, but Press, Money, Please Me, Up, and WAP. Those other songs I just named are not like for the era, but those are singles. So I don't know what she's going to do with those. I hope she don't smack any of those on the album, the older ones, the ones that are 3 years. I don't know if she's going to put WAP or Up on the album. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait to see how I feel about that. But Monique got a comedy special with Netflix. Her lawsuit cleared for color bias and gender bias. and she made $50 million. See, look at you. You tried to shortchange her by millions, and you had to wind up paying her more than you paid Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. That's what happens. It's more expensive to pay for forgiveness than it is to pay for permission. But she got a movie with Lee Daniels. Of course he rectified that situation, because when's the last time Lee Daniels dropped something that was just doing that much numbers, as my girl Cardi would say? I'm not saying that Lee Daniels is not talented in his right, because I love Lee Daniels. I told y'all I love everybody I talk about. I just feel like he made poor choices. And he's had to pay for those poor choices. And I feel like if he was on a level of a Tyler Perry or an Oprah, he would not have apologized. But I must say, if Monique likes it, I'm going to adore it. So, and also she is going to be on the next season of BMF. I'm very excited about the next season of BMF. When I had COVID, and oh yeah, y'all, I caught COVID, and I caught that thing twice. That's a conversation for another day. But when I had COVID, I caught up on all of the shows, and I really enjoyed BMF. First of all, speaking of BMF, y'all, Da Vinci, if you're watching this, I'm single. And my Instagram is @DJ_diva if you are trying to start a relationship, because I really feel like we're twin flames. That's all I gotta say. This has been a thirsty ass podcast, y'all. But I'm very happy. She deserves everything. And a lot of people saying, well, why would you work with Netflix now? Why would you? Because it's fucking Netflix. Like, who the fuck? Where else can a comedian thrive nowadays? Like, Netflix is like the Apollo or like Def Comedy Jam now. Like, it is the place where you need to be as a comedian. I have said plenty of times before, and I'll say it again, I do feel like Monique could have taken her own career in her own hands and be able to come up with a small virtual or whatever show during this time and been able to sell tickets and really make her own table as opposed to waiting. However, I do believe that she is deserving what she is due, and I think it's about time. I think it's about time this new generation sees how glorious and how funny and how talented and how much of a class act that this lady is. Now, I'm not gonna get into this deeply, but I think DL Hughley did something. I really hated that whole situation, how it's going down. I watched everything. Let me tell you something about me, and I'm gonna talk about this in the next Diva discussions, but I do not look at clips and make no conclusions. I will watch the whole thing, read the whole thing. I will never come to you guys with an opinion that is not informed. If I do not, like, even with the pink sauce video I did recently, I had everything ready. All of my receipts, all of my videos. I watched everything. And today I'm going to watch the full live that she did in the FDA situation so I can give another recap about that. But I watched everything, and let me tell you something. I think that DL Hughley did some of the wrong things. And you worked with Monique because you needed her just as much as she needed you. And the promoter is probably janky as hell, because it happens all the time. I am in this game, and there's no profession that I hate more on this planet than a promoter. But I believe that you probably were being a dick about it. She called it out, as she should. She should be able to call things out. I don't understand when we hated tea. People was like, oh, that was unprofessional. Like, bitch, you sipped the tea, though. If it was so unprofessional, why did you watch it 8 million times? Exactly. Her whole set was not about that, and I didn't like that narrative being spun either. People said that she was funny, but she did talk about it for a few minutes, as she should be able to. But I feel like when it got to social media, she posted her receipts, he posted his receipts. I agree with what Sydney had to say about a deal demo. It's a difference. I feel like the paperwork, a lot of people didn't understand what their receipts were to be able to submit a receipt, but I feel like after that, it should have been dead. I don't mind her bringing up the things that happened with her daughter as a talk piece, but I do mind her bringing it up as ammunition to win an argument. But she did apologize for it, and and you know, she's a Sagittarius just like me, and a lot of times when we are going for something, we're going headstrong, and we are tunnel vision, and we're not looking on the sides. So we have a tendency to step over ourselves in our words. But I do believe, and I spoke about it, and I'm not gonna do no video about it because I don't care to engage in that type of commentary. However, there's a lot of valid discussion that can be had about the way that you did handle your daughter's situation. Outside of an argument, I feel like there's a lot of healing conversation that we can have, because I have honestly felt a lot of type of way about supporting DL Hughley, because I think he's hilarious. I love nerdy ass comedy like Childish Gambino, Hannibal Buress, DL Hughley. I love a good nerdy ass moment in comedy, but I have been so reluctant to support you in comedy ever since you got on Sway and you said that. Because I watched that whole interview. I remember back in the day, and I was just like, ah. But I mean, if y'all are moving forward, you've made a mistake. A lot of parents make mistakes. However, that was a mistake that just was a mistake, like a huge, like detrimental one. But I do think that there's a need to have that conversation, especially because of the commentary that you had about Kanye and his ex-wife, and how if that was your daughter, you would do that lady 40 years old. And I think it's really rich about what you say that you would hypothetically do for somebody else's 40-year-old white daughter, versus your actual daughter who was a kid when she needed you most. I feel like as a person, and this is me, I give commentary too on my platform. And you know, I can't believe I'm even talking about this, but I feel personally, I told y'all, it might be old news to y'all, but my opinion is new. I personally feel like if you dish it to a lot of people, because all you do is go on Vlad TV. I don't know why anybody of my skin tone is still going on that platform. But y'all must be wanting to go to jail or whatever. But it is what it is. I don't understand why is that you, and Monique made a point, you got Tinder. And it is what it is. I feel like as a comedian, you should be able to take a little bit more of a punch, but I don't think you have to tolerate disrespect either. But I just really want to know why you think that you can have commentary on everybody else's trauma in situations, but when somebody do it to you, it's a problem. I do understand why you had a problem with it, because I feel like it was a low for Monique to bring that up as ammunition in an argument. But if anybody, comedian, not comedian, commentator like me, want to bring it up and talk about it at any given moment, we should be able to, because it's a conversation that needs to be had in a longer, more in-depth form than what you did at the Sway show. And it doesn't need to be centered around you. It can be a jumping point to talk about sexual violation that happens in the Black community and how Black men and women like to protect predators. But that is neither here or there. I do feel like, I personally, based off of what your daughter said, I do feel like y'all are doing, because I feel like she is the person I would like to hear that from. You guys are doing the work to heal and move forward. And I'm not going to applaud you, but I really think that it's a good thing that you are taking the steps, being vocal, being honest, being vulnerable about your shortcomings, because a lot of Black men just going to continue doing it and keep the cycle going, as opposed to saying, hey, this is the cycle. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to tell you the down dirty truth, and this is what we're doing to rectify it. Even though it's almost nothing you can do to rectify that, it is something that you can do to make sure that you are no longer doing it in the future and making an environment where that type of shit is done. That's what I feel. I didn't even plan on talking about that, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But Monique, shout out to you. Congratulations on your stand-up special, your lawsuit, your everything, your new movie, your new show. You have a show, a movie, a bag, and a comedy special. I love to see it. Next thing we're going to talk about is flow. Let me tell y'all something about this group. This group was all over. And let me tell you something. I don't know what label y'all assigned to, but those people are pushing you in every avenue they can. It's the marketing for me. Because you guys have a dope look. You guys have a really, really dope look. It's just, y'all look like a group. Y'all are very succinct. First of all, the vocals. It's the old school vocals for me. The layering. It is giving 90s R&B diva group, and I am here for it. I listened to the EP about 8 billion times because I just love the butteriness of y'all's voice. You guys really have a great thing headed for you. You guys have the ability to bring back R&B groups. I don't feel like girl R&B groups have been successful for a long time. Every time a new group pops up, I always say that's not gonna work. And there's a lot of great groups that I think of, like June's Diary is an amazing group. Good Girl is a good group. There's a lot of great groups with amazing voices. However, I just feel like they never have the platform or the backing or the marketing to get it off the ground. And I think that you guys have it, and I think y'all's label is doing right by y'all. I hope that they not trying to take y'all for every dollar y'all got, but the music is so old school. It's bridge, it's some lifted vocal, it's just everything, and I'm really excited. You guys have y'all's EP was so good. It was just a little sample of what you guys have to offer. The first song is Cardboard Box. I'm gonna put your stuff in a cardboard box. Oh, just good writing, good old school writing. I think, and I said that earlier, I think a lot of the old school sounds is coming back because I don't think that this new generation past 2016 have done a good job at curating a new sound for this era that well. So I feel like the only way that we're gonna survive right now is probably rehashing and refurbishing some old shit. Immature. Y'all's production is crazy. Summertime is a good song. Feature Me, another guy, the acoustic. You guys just, and the thing is, y'all can sing. Y'all have a voice. And I think that the art of a voice has been lost. I've been watching all these videos on YouTube. There's some pages that talk about vocal, how we've lost vocal, how people can't sing no more, and people are literally only being able to listen to Whitney, Anita, and just people who just older music to be able to get their lives. And I just don't feel like people have delivered vocal that like lately. Like Jasmine Sullivan can't sing for everybody. And I just really appreciate y'all's keen attention to detail when it comes down to vocal, because that is really what's missing. Shout out to Flo. Y'all were being pushed, and it was giving industry plant the way that y'all was pushed because everybody was talking about y'all. But I was like, man, I don't want to fall for it. And I just submitted and surrendered, and I'm happy I fell for it. I love it here. Let's talk about Saucy Santana. I'll talk about all of the drama with Saucy in another podcast, but I want to talk about y'all's video, Booty, featuring Latto. First of all, I like the sample. I thought that you looked gorgeous, Saucy Santana. I loved all the big gay boys twerking. I thought the video was really, really beautiful. First of all, shake with your Dr. K. Make her pay the second round of this BBL. I love that. I really, really love that. I like the song. Who else got to ask? Like, I really like the song, and I support you. But we're gonna have to hold you accountable soon for some shit that's gonna be in a later video / podcast. But I do enjoy the Booty song, and I like the video. I love the fact that I'm seeing the label actually invest and believe in you, and not just signing you so that you can mark off some check boxes of diversity and inclusion and just putting you in the worst positions and not investing in your wardrobe, your look, your shows. I like the fact that I'm seeing the label invest in you as they should. You are a risk, as any black, dark-skinned, fat, queer person is, but femme person, whatever. But I do love the fact that I'm seeing them defend you and go out on a limb for you and really invest in your music, because I really feel like you have so much more ahead of you than you have behind you, and I'm really excited. The last thing I want to talk about is, of course, and I saved this for last because that's what we do. Beyonce is coming. Y'all know that this is a Beehive podcast. Period. You won't break my soul, bitch. You won't break my... Okay, first of all, I listen to that song so many times. I listen to that song at least 3 or 4 times a day. Love it. It's a bop. At first, I was confused. I was like, Beyonce, what we doing today? But I am here for it. First of all, Beyonce, I love you. And if anybody asks me anything, I am literally wanting to model my career behind yours. Even though we do 2 completely different things, you are the blueprint of an icon. And that's where I want to be. And mark my words, and I want y'all to screen record this and keep this in y'all. We are going to work together one day. I'm going to write you a song. You're going to feature on one of mine. We're going to do it all. We are going to, I am manifesting that here. I fucking love you, Beyonce. And I just, we ride Beyonce dick over here. I don't give a fuck. Beehive all fucking day. I ain't that much standy. I ain't a super standy person, but bitch, Beyonce, she's queen. And she's coming. We got a couple more days, about a week before we get the Renaissance album. I already got it pre-saved, downloaded. I'm ready. I didn't get a chance to get a box or a vinyl. Bitch, I'm poor. I got bills. But I am very excited. And plus that music, I would rather spend money on a concert ticket, because I know you're going to do a tour, than to spend money on any other thing. You know, I had to do a tit for tat. Had to do some compromise. But I am excited. The cover art, this era is about to be something different. I know it's going to be different. I'm so ready for it. I'm going to be honest, I have not looked at the track list because I've been trying to avoid it by all costs, because I'm in all the Beehive groups. I want a clean palette, because if I look at the names of the songs and explicit and what the samples are and who's on it, because I already know Grace Jones is something inspired or whatever. I don't want to see all of that. I want to be surprised. I want to be ready. I just want to sit and surrender to the album. I don't want anything to give me expectations, because I have 0 expectations for this album, because I just really want to experience it for the first time, because there's something beautiful about listening to a song the first time. It's nothing like it. I am so excited for this album. I am definitely going to get a vinyl whenever they come back in stock, or if you have another type of traditional vinyl. But I really, really am excited about the return of Queen B. It has been a minute. She's had a few singles, and she did The Gift and all that other stuff, but those are like projects. Album, I can't. And you know what used to really piss me off in the Beehive? I'm one of the outliers of the Beehive, because I have unpopular Beyonce opinions. I ain't riding the wave of whatever a lot of y'all Beehive people really be like hype beasts, because y'all only love the popular shit. I feel like you don't have to be a Beyonce fan to love Halo and all of these other songs. Like, in order to be like a real fan, you have to really dig into like the undercuts of her music. But I'm just extremely excited. I don't want to have any expectations. I'm very excited for what you're bringing to us. I think that The Gift and Everything Is Love, that's a collaborative project. But even that was 3 years ago. But those are projects to me. I really hated a lot of people in the Beehive talking about how Homecoming was B7. It's not. It's a live album. It is a show. She does live versions of her albums. It's not a fucking album. And don't cheapskate me on that. It's not an album. We love it, but it's not an album. If you know, you know. But this has been great. I am so happy to be back. I know this podcast lasted just a couple minutes longer than traditional, But you guys, I love you guys so much. I'm so happy to be back. We have so much to discuss next week. It's getting added to the docket because if I talked about everything that I had prepared, this podcast would be literally an hour and 45 minutes. And nobody got time for that. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. Please check out my new-ish freestyle of Super Gremlin. I really bodied it. More freestyles and music from me is coming soon. I really appreciate y'all. So happy to be back. I'm back for real. And bye, divas.
Yeah. It's Bisshh Diva. All these other bitches ain't rapping as good as DJ's rapping, but I'm